Hi everyone and welcome to my review of the brand new drama starring Tom Hardy and Noomi Rapace. The film is called Child 44 and it takes place in the early 1950s in Russia. We get to know this young married couple played by the two leads that I just mentioned. They've been married for a while. The majority of this film takes place in the 1950s, though we get to know the main character played by Tom Hardy as an orphan and during his time serving in the war in World War II. But in the 1950s, there's a lot of just sadness, depression, just terrible things are going on in Russia because of communism and other elements that just, whatever you could think that just awful is shown in this film. At least, the setting of what this film takes place. But there's a lot going on in this movie that I'm just going to focus on the main plot and just try and describe the main plot as best as I possibly can, because there's just so much going on in this film. There's maybe too much plot. But the main plot is very interesting because it revolves around young children coming up dead around railroad stations, especially when the government is denying that these kids possibly were murdered, because to them, the Russian government at that time thought murder was a capitalist thing and there was no murder in paradise. That's what they actually said, no murder in paradise, which I thought was very interesting. Now, now these characters get involved and they're trying to find who the killer is, and then there's also a supporting cast that includes Joel Kinnaman, Gary Oldman, Jason Clarke, Patty something, what's his name, great actor from In America, and, there's probably someone else I forgot. Oh, Charles Dance from Game of Thrones. So there's lots going on in this film. I mean, this movie is 2 hours and 17 minutes, and I will say that I understand if anybody doesn't like this film, because it is just, it's in the gutter. Not mean it's disgusting, it's perverted and stuff like that in the gutter. It just, it's just sad. It's a really dirty looking film. I admire it for its high production value and set direction and costume design, because I think that was the most convincing for me for the film. I will say that I like this film, though some people will use the word depressing when they talk about this movie. For me, if I use the word depressing for this film, it's because I hated the movie and it sucked. But I would not say this film was depressing. It's sad, really sad. It's just, there's really no hope in this movie, and thankfully to some great film work, some great acting, kind of, because when it comes to the acting, I'd say kind of, because I almost wish that this film was presented all in Russian, in subtitles. It just, I don't know, it seems like the entire cast was from different parts of the world instead of Russia. Maybe some of the supporting cast and some of the extras were Russian, but the majority of this film, actually all of this film, is in English with thick, outrageous Russian accents. Some were really good, some were great, and some were okay. I didn't hear any ones that were, maybe Joel Kinnaman shouldn't have been in this film. Even though I really like him as an actor, there's some miscasting in this movie. And as I said before, this film is 2 hours and 17 minutes, which is a big no-no, because it's just really long. And I think this movie would have been a great film if it would have shaved off about 40 minutes, maybe a 90-minute film, murder, mystery, drama. Because I think a lot of the acting is pretty solid. The movie is well made, well directed. It's based on a book, though when I first saw the initial trailer, I couldn't help but notice that I've seen this story before. Now, this movie is based only on a book and an idea of something that really happened years after this movie, where this movie takes place. And I remember seeing a movie on HBO called Citizen X, I think that's what it's called, about a man who murdered over 50 children over a short period of time, and kind of a lot of the things we're told in that story are very reminiscent of what's being told in this fabricated story, the story of Child 44. So I would recommend this film, but not at full price. Got a free ticket, matinee. I'd say see the film, or wait till Blu-ray to see the film. But if you're really interested in this idea, I really recommend instead going and checking out the HBO film. I believe it came out in the late 90s, called Citizen X. I think that's what it's called. Hopefully that's what it's called. Because I think that's a more interesting story and a more entertaining, interesting look at this whole idea. And it's definitely based on that true story, where this is taking that true story and it's come from a book and changed the time and the setting of where it's at. But I think it's the same place, Russia. So I thought it was a good film. Not something that is ever worth seeing again, but I would recommend seeing it at least once, especially for the cast, because I think it is a very impressive cast, and the concept alone is very shocking and sad. And it was definitely an interesting commentary of what was going on in that time in Russia for that country. You know, it just makes me thankful for the country I live in. That's all I gotta say. Or all the blessings that I have, and I shouldn't take things for granted. So for that, I am going to give Child 44, I'm going to give the film 3 stars out of 4. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and share this video. And also, please check out these amazing movie websites. And if you enjoyed this review, please click here to subscribe to my channel, and also please check out all my recent reviews right here on YouTube. Have a great day, live film, find peace, happiness, and harmony in anything and everything you do, and I'll talk to you at my next movie review.